I'm pleased to announce that Gilead now has an EUA from the FDA for Remdesivir. And you know what that is because that's been the hot thing also in the papers and in the media for the last little while. An important treatment for hospitalized coronavirus patients. And it's something, I spoke with Dr. Khan and Dr. Fauci, I spoke with Deborah about it, and it's really a very promising situation. We've been doing work with the teams at the FDA, NIH, and Gilead for spearheading this public-private partnership to make this happen very quickly. So today we're going to be, and I'm going to let Dan do it, but we're going to let Dan make a statement as to what the company is doing, making a contribution to really people that are not doing well, people that are sick, people that have this horrible plague that's set into our country and that we're getting rid of, and we're going to be having some really incredible results. We have very promising studies coming out on the vaccines. We have promising studies coming out on therapeutics. And the first one is from Dan and Gilead, and I'd like to maybe have you say a few words, if you would, Dan, as to number one about Remdesivir to start off with, and also the contribution being made by your company, and we very much appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you for having us here. Thank you, Mr. Vice President, for the collaboration that we've had. Let me start by saying on behalf of, I know, all the colleagues at Gilead, we want to thank all the collaborators that have brought Remdesivir to this point. And that certainly includes NIH and Dr. Fauci and certainly Commissioner Hahn and many, many more people that have been a part of this to bring this to where we are today. And in fact, really the thanks go to the patients and the caregivers that participated in these clinical trials. I also want to say I'm privileged to work with a group of amazing scientists at Gilead that for decades have been working on antivirals, and we're poised to put Remdesivir immediately into clinical trials when we saw the COVID-19 circulating. So I'm really proud of the colleagues back at Gilead. What I'd like to say is that, on behalf of Gilead, to the President's point, we feel a tremendous responsibility. We're humbled by this being an important first step for patients, for hospitalized patients. We want to make sure nothing gets in the way of these patients getting the medicine. So we made a decision to donate about 1.5 million vials of Remdesivir. We'll be working with the government to determine how best to distribute that within the United States. We'll be working very closely to get that to patients, working with FEMA, working with other parts of the government to make sure that we get that to the patients in need as quickly as possible, because there are patients out there that can benefit from this medicine today that are hospitalized, and we don't want any time to waste for that. And we're also fully committed to continuing to expand the supply of this medicine. We started investing in this back in January as soon as we became aware of the coronavirus. This is a long time to manufacture. It used to be 12 months, it's now 6 months. Our scientists have brought that down. And so as we get into the second half of this year, we're able to have many more supplies available to patients, and we're fully committed to working, Mr. President, with you, your administration, to make sure that patients in need can get this important new medicine.
Dan, I really appreciate it, but I also noticed the incredible job you've done with HIV, which I remember so well 15 years ago, 16 years ago. It was a horrible thing. I lived in New York. I lost a lot of friends that through HIV was terrible. And also hepatitis C. Could you give us just a quick moment on how successful that's been? Because I've seen things that are pretty incredible and a lot of people don't know.
Absolutely, and I'm reminded of Ambassador Birx and all of her work in this field as well. We've worked, the colleagues at Gilead have collaborated for years, both in the developed and the developing world on HIV. I mean, it's really astonishing. This is one of the reasons why when I joined Gilead a while ago, the reason I joined is because of this progress. So you remember, of course,
yes,
back when HIV was a death sentence, and now thanks to the scientists at Gilead and elsewhere, we've turned this into a really chronic disease and also a preventable disease. And I want to give special thanks to the administration for the work on the HIV prevention and PrEP program that we're working now in many particularly disadvantaged parts of our country to get more patients on prevention, because the best way, of course, to to stop and to end this epidemic is a combination of treatment and prevention. And hepatitis C, I'm really happy to say that the scientists came up with a cure some years ago, and we've made tremendous progress, and including some really creative new arrangements in the United States, like with the state of Louisiana, where we've looked at ways to look at programs to make sure that every patient in a state is able to get the opportunity to be cured. So I'm very proud that we have this kind of science, but also that we put this science in a way that gets access to patients.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.